G'day legends and welcome to another episode of the Coach Carter podcast. Today we are joined with a very special guest. We have Chad Collins. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you very much.
How are you, brother?
Guys, good, thanks.
That's the way. So Blakey, you grew up with Chad. You give the Rippers a bit of a background on...
We've sparred a few times back in the day, and
before you came in, he was actually saying he pieced you up a couple of times.
I was about to say my body's still feeling it. So
definitely, sparred lots of rounds as a kid growing up.
Yeah, fuck, we've done the rounds. I remember doing it at 350. That was the good old days.
Not urban.
No. We've done urban too.
Urban, Back in the days when Jag was there.
Little Jag. Yeah, fuck, have you seen him lately?
He's big fella.
Little solid fella. He's got the head tattoo. Okay. Got the 5 prayers on his head.
He's got the whole look.
Yeah, he's got it now.
That's it. So welcome to today's podcast, guys. We weren't able to get out one last week due to everything that had been going on at the shop. We've been pretty busy here, but we're hopefully making it up this week with a couple of special guests, obviously with Chad here this morning, and as well as Jared Wallace a bit later on in the week as well. We'll break down some more cardboard sort of stuff, but today's podcast is going to be more on I guess it's going to be more about Muay Thai and a little bit about Chad, and I guess you'll hear some Blakey stories in there too. If you've got any good stories on this dude too, they love it, the Rippers. So I guess we'll
stitch up stories.
Yeah, I've got plenty of them anyway. So if you run out of them, bro, I've got a few up my sleeve. So I guess we'll run into it, bro. If you want to give us a little bit of I know you were supposed to fight this weekend. We're a little bit unsure whether it's going to go ahead or not, but I guess give us a little bit of a background on your fighting at the moment.
Yep. I've Chad Collins. I've been fighting since I was about 11. I had my first fight. Been around the sport of Muay Thai since I was about 3 years old. Trained with my dad until I was about 15, and then I was with Clayton Collier on the Gold Coast here. And then when I turned 21, I moved to Thailand and did 4 years in Thailand fighting.
You can speak fluent Thai, can't you?
Yeah, put Thai day.
Sawadee Cup.
Sawadee Cup.
That's all you know, isn't it, Blakey?
Sawadee, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit like Fanzo.
I can count to 10 and say hello, how are you?
Yeah.
That's my fluent.
That's as fluent as you get. Yeah, so you lived in Thai for a bit, 4 years.
Yeah, man. So I was over there for 4 years. So I did two years in Bangkok at Thankyou gym. A little bit outside of Bangkok, in a place called Pathum Thani, and then I did another 2 years down in Phuket at Revolution Gym under Tim Fisher.
Nice.
Is that down the road from Tiger Muay Thai?
Yeah, it's a good 20-minute ride.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's in Surin Beach.
Surin Beach. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. You were in Thailand same time we were, eh?
Yeah, we hung out a fair bit.
That's
actually.
Right.
Blakey remembers.
Got up to
I remember that now.
That steals my next question because I was going to ask, was it 4 years in Thailand? Like, obviously, if I'm over there for 4 years, I'm not fighting very much. I'm getting on the fucking, what do they call them over there? What's the beers over there? Not Bintangs.
Singers.
Yeah, Singers. Yeah. I'll be getting on the Singers every night.
You got the Singers, Leo, and then you got the buckets that we call the elephant kicks because you wake up in the morning feeling like you've been kicked in the head by an elephant.
Yeah. So 4 years, was it full time fighting? Was there a bit of party amongst it, or what was that like?
We definitely had the whole lot. Hey, I was there for fighting and training. But in between, there was a lot that happened.
Well, you got to celebrate after a fight.
Yeah, there was a lot of reggae bars and
the reggae. Yeah. I went to the reggae bar in Phuket, and it was probably the most red hot experience I've ever had. I was trying to buy some weed in Thailand, and I went here, and this guy goes, "You can't leave unless you smoke this big joint with you." And I'm going, "Fuck yeah, I can smoke a joint, sweet." This thing he pulls out was fucking huge. It was the biggest joint I've ever seen, bigger than a blunt. And we're sitting there. It was a good half an hour of just chain smoking this thing.
Is fucking thing done yet?
And at the end of it, I'm like, I actually can't ride home.
I got to ride home.
I was like, I can't ride home. I got to fucking order a tuk-tuk.
What's the weed like over there? Any good?
Fuck yeah, they were putting hash in it and everything.
True.
Like you can get some shit stuff.
So did you remember to buy your weed, or were you fucked after that?
It was just fucking. It was a red hot experience. Just getting
home, especially being a kid over there that age. Like,
mate,
with all the stuff that went on with Chappelle Corby, it's like you're overseas and it's like, no, don't touch drugs.
And especially in an Asian country, you're like, fuck, weed. Oh no, this is the life sentence.
Because how old would you have been? You would have been around.
No, when I was buying, I was
18?
Fuck, no, this is like maybe 2 years ago when I got these.
Oh, yeah. So this was recent.
Yeah, so
Ish.
2 years ago I was buying, but the first time I went there, I went to the reggae and I didn't smoke. I was there with my mum. She was doing that stuff. I was the fucking taxi.
Shout out Colette.
I was the taxi to get her home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. So, I guess, I just wanted to, I guess we'll redirect this back to a little bit about the fighting. I know that you've got some fights that you want to talk about, Blakey. Chad?
The big one that stands out to me is the Thankyou fight. That was
So just for a person that's not really in the Muay Thai world, who's Thangchai?
Personal opinion, pound for pound.
I know Rod Tang.
He's like the Mayweather of Muay Thai.
He is, probably one of the best Muay Thai fighter.
Oh,
to
wow.
live, I guess, yeah.
Wow.
That's my stance on it. He was an idol of mine when I was watching Muay Thai back in the day. So
Shit. And you fought him.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
yeah,
What's the age? What's the age gap?
So he was towards the end of his career. I think it would be like maybe like 12 years older than me, I think.
Wow.
Just on the spot.
And put it into perspective, Thangchai used to fight up weights too, because no one in his weight used to fight him. So he'd take fights above his weight, and
Yeah, okay.
I've also seen him fight 2 people at once. So like
What?
they swap each round and they tag out and he just keeps going and fighting. And it was against quality opponents like Pech Boonchu and stuff. So it was,
Wow.
Petch, that's bullshit.
yeah.
That is bullshit. How does one do that?
So when I fought Thangchai, it was great. The whole experience, though, there was a lead up to it. I was supposed to fight in China, and then the fight fell through. And then I was a little bit sick as well because I trained over there. You train like a dog. Like you don't get a
It's
same.
2 times a day.
Yeah, 2 times a day, running 10K in the morning and then running 6 in the arvo.
As well as training.
Yeah, as well as then the training.
And then your
So-
2 hours.
That's not training, baby. Fuck.
So then the fight in where was I talking? China fell through, and then 6 days out, they go, "Oh, you're fighting Thangchai," and they spring this on me. And it's an opportunity for me not to say no to. It's 6 days notice, so it's a win-win for me. If I survive the fight, I've won anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, me being trained underneath Sancti Noi, he goes, "Mate, like." We're going to win this fight. We're not going there to survive. Like,
to have fun.
So I was going there. And so we did 6 days of like mental training. Hey, it was crazy. And the first 2 days of the training, he actually didn't tell me who I was fighting. He just said, "You're training like a dog. You do as you're told," sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. You don't backchat. You don't nothing to your trainer. So you do as you're told.
Yeah.
So when we got there, the fight was down in a place called Yatala or something in Thailand. It's like a really southern place, I think, of the country, and it's real Muslimized. They're trying to like cut it off to be their own sort of country, sort of thing, to not be a part of Thailand. So it's real dangerous. There's always shootings and car bombings and massacres and stuff. Yeah. So they rocked up and we had escorts from the military everywhere we're going. Like, it was great. It was like full VIP shit. I would have loved it.
Yeah, big time.
So I get to we're cutting weight for the fight, and they go, "Oh, no, like, don't run. You go just run in the driveway here back and forth. It's not safe for a white boy to run around." Like, so I'm just like, "All right." So I'm running anyway. We make weight. Everything's great. Me and Thangchai got along great straight away. And then we get to the venue with our police escort, and there's like these 2 tanks that are just sitting there, like actual tanks, man. I get photos, tank.
Yeah.
And so we're there and we go in, and then the crowd just keeps filling up. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy.
When you found out you were fighting Thangchai, what was your first thought?
It was a dream for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I'd just come off a win from beating Puckhorn. So like for me, I'm climbing that ladder. I want to beat.
Yeah,
I want to beat the best.
Confidence is there, and beating Puckhorn as well in a
Exactly.
fight like that with those gloves on.
Yep.
That is a
MMA
risky
gloves.
risky fight.
Yep. So anyway, we get there and the crowd just kept filling up. Before I knew it, there was 50,000 people in the crowd. Like, so
50,000, bro. They don't. That's like Origin crowds.
Imagine
That's
these shakes.
fucking. Oh.
So apparently
the noise.
everyone just come out because they never have sporting events. They never have concerts and stuff. So everyone's like, something's happening. Let's go. Like, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So they just filled up and it was crazy. And then before I knew it, I was standing next to Thangchai behind the stage.
Fuck.
And obviously they called me out first and champ comes last and stuff. And I'm out and I'm in the ring. And it's only 3 rounds on Thai fight. So like it's a sprint. It's go.
Yeah.
And then I'm waiting for him to walk out, and he's like, doing his dance and Thai stuff, and he does like this handstand thing, like his handstand kick, And as he did it, the fireworks like followed his kick and went doof, 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 doof. And I was just like, man, this is so cool. I'm like idolizing him while I'm in the ring. And I'm like, pull your shit together, Chad. So the fight starts and I'm like real eager to fight and hurt him straight away. I'm like, let's get down and dirty straight away.
Yeah.
He lands a few good push kicks that put me on my ass real quick. And I'd say the first round went to him. And then I get slapped around in the corner a little bit and told to pull my head in and stick to the game plan that we've trained for and stuff. We've done the homework. And round 2, I win. I have it over him. Like I put him down a few times, like swept him and stuff. So that was real cool.
Shit.
And then round 3, he was hanging on for dear life. Like he was gassed by that point. He's a little bit older.
Yeah,
so
you're putting the pressure on. Like it looked like it was like coming close to a knockdown.
Yeah. So every time I kneed him or punched him to the guts, all I ever heard was him like, like making these loud noises. I'm like, he's going down. He's going down. And he managed to survive and hang on until the 3rd bell. And Thai fight being Thai fight, obviously, it's not called Westerner fight or white boy fight.
Yeah.
So they give it to Sanchai, and I was pretty gutted over that. And there's a lot of people still to this day that believe that I won the fight.
100%. Like I on it, the way I say it was I remember watching it live, and in the 3rd round, messaging Corey going, "Fuck this, Chad's just done this. Like, are you kidding? Chad just beat Sanchai. This is fucked." And then they give the announcement. I'm like, how does that work?
Yeah.
But then you come down to it, it's Sanchai, fighting a Westerner in Thailand. If it's a close fight, people. If it's a close fight, they're always going to give it to him.
Yeah, it's
which is fucked, but fuck, that's the way it is over there. You've got to win by knockout, or it's got to be super dominant.
So something actually really crazy at the airport on the way to this fight. Sanctian, so he's such a tough, like he'll never show any weakness, never nothing. Like you never hear anything of him being upset or anything. Like it's always, I'm a man through and through. That's it.
Okay.
And we're at the airport and everyone starts boarding and he goes, "Oh, just wait for everyone to board first, we'll board last." And then we go to stand up the board and the guy just faints on me, bro. Like this is the strongest man I know, just faints right next to me and I'm like holding him up from the ground and stuff. I'm like, oh man, this is like, and he's real famous over there and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I've never even really touched him. Like I don't want to touch him. Like he's like this Ben P. So like
it's high up.
Exactly. So and I'm like holding him and then he comes good and I like give him some water and then like we get on the plane and he like gives me this talk about how he's not well with his blood and stuff or whatever. I don't know.
Or like diabetes or something.
I'm not too sure. It was all in Thai as well. So we're all talking in Thai. And I just knew, he goes, "You look after me and I look after you." That was pretty much what the conversation was.
Yeah, shit.
And nothing was ever spoken or said about that. I've never even told anyone this before. So this is like,
you got me feeling special now. Oh,
shit.
That's hectic.
So that's how it went down with Sanchai.
Yeah.
So one more question about the fight. So he threw one, I believe he threw one cartwheel kick.
Yep.
How predictable was it?
We knew it was coming. Like it's his go-to move. All the time.
That's his signature move.
Because you threw one as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Back at him.
So,
because I think you threw it first, maybe, and then he was like, "Oh, I got to do it."
Yeah. So he, as soon as he went to go for it, I just stepped back. Simple as that. I'm not going to step into it any further than I have to. So I stepped back and let it go by, and then at the end of the 2nd round, the bell went and he kissed me on the cheek. And I was like, "You cheeky bugger," like so. And he's like up on the ropes, like like to the crowd, and I like ran up on the ropes and kissed him on the cheek after. I was like, "Yeah, take that, brother."
The kiss of death. The kiss of death.
Yeah.
Oh, so, that's classic.
Is there games like that in Muay Thai all the time? It seems so much funner, or like more like there's obviously a whole lot more respect in Muay Thai. It seems like there's not as much trash talk, but
the respect is there. 100%.
There's like little games that go on in between.
Definitely little head fucking games that happen all the time. Like I've fought. I fought a guy called Ponak, a southpaw at Raja Stadium, and I also fought him twice. And when the fight was matched, Kevin Noon from WBC goes like, "Mate, you can throw a whole kitchen sink at this fella and he's going to keep coming." So this is before the fight. And that were his exact words. And so I knew it was in for a hard fight. And round 1 we opened up and he teeped me straight into the groin, like in the box, didn't care, straight away, and then continued like nothing happened. And then I like looked at the ref and the ref's like, "Chalk, like carry on." I'm like, all right. So I like keep fighting. Then again, like maybe 30 seconds later, boom, straight to the nuts again. And it's just those little mind games to get in my head and fuck with my head. So my game plan goes out the window. Then he's back on top of controlling the situation.
Yeah, fuck.
So there's definitely those little mind games that happen.
Oh.
Just for anyone that doesn't know, Raja and Lupini Stadium in Thailand are the two biggest stadiums to ever fight on. If you're a Muay Thai fighter, those stadiums are fucking goals.
Yeah.
To ever fight in one of those stadiums,
Is it
you're
because
doing right.
is it because that's where all the best Thai fights have ever been held?
100%, yeah.
So obviously Muay Thai originates from Thailand, and these two stadiums, definitely the old Lumpini Stadium,
the old one,
was just like the mecca. These two are like the mecca of Thai boxing.
Yeah.
And now there's a new Lumpini. It's not as prestigious. It's sort of Rajananam Stadium that runs the show now.
because it had like the history at the old Lumpini Stadium.
Yeah.
The old battles that went down there because they knocked it down and rebuilt.
Yeah,
So
well, they knocked it down with they were going to build on it, and then they found out that they don't have the land rights underneath the ground, so they can't build on it. So now it's just a vacant block, a concrete slab.
So they
that
just
sits
wiped
there.
it for almost no
Yeah,
reason.
they wiped it for no reason. guys.
that's history.
I know.
Oh,
Wow.
It's heartbreaking stuff.
Wow.
yeah, that is.
That's fucking crazy.
You mentioned before the Sanchai fight about beating, was it Pukan?
Pakorn, yeah.
So
So
the other way around.
that was the old MX gloves, eh?
Yep. So this was like the fight that made my name in Thailand and now
Yep.
in the world. Like obviously, I made waves here in Australia before I went to Thailand, but this fight made me and sort of a bit of a household name. And it was a 3-round fight on MX with the MMA gloves.
Yep.
And it was
yeah, bro.
only the second show of MX that they'd ever had. And I jumped at it straight away. It was a big opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to... Oh, everyone at the weigh-in, actually, at the weigh-in for the fight with Pakorn, they were telling me, like, oh, who you fighting? I was like, oh, Pakorn. Like, oh, what? Like, oh, die, sure.
They're fucking honest there, eh?
And I was just like, fucking, I'll show you pricks like I'm going to die. Like, I'm a white boy here. Like, I'll have a crack at it.
Yeah, that's mad.
So I fought him.
So Pakorn's obviously another big name.
He's another big name.
Yeah.
From
His style is
golden,
fucking
yeah.
walk forward, try to kill you.
He's known as a bullfighter, so he'll stand there and trade with you.
Yeah.
So I fought him first round, maybe went to him, it was close. And then round 2, I come out and I had a crack around and I crushed him. And round 3, he started to get more tired and my heart sort of showed a bit more than him.
Yeah.
And my youth also showed a bit more, I reckon.
Yeah.
And I come through and beat him in the 3rd and I got the decision.
Oh, you got the decision.
Yeah.
Well, white boy over there.
Yeah, so I
got
made
the win.
It was
I
great.
reckon
It was convincing enough.
He was like taken back that you were bringing the pressure to him because normally he's the one to bring the pressure to the center ring, but you were just putting him on his back foot and he couldn't get a rhythm going.
Exactly. So when I got that win, my whole life sort of changed from there.
Yeah, wow.
So you were quite famous over in Thailand.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. I would go like to the shops like Siam Paragram and stuff, and then I would have like little teenage schoolgirls and shit like, oh, shark. And I was like the man, bro. It was sick.
Chad the Shark Collins.
And now I come back to Australia and everyone don't know who I am.
Go to the shop. Can I have this coffee for free? Fuck you.
Yeah, it was great though.
No, that's good, bro. So what's with this weekend? What's happening with the fights? So Saturday you're meant to be fighting. You've got a fight on the Gold Coast. If it does go ahead, where it's
So this Saturday, the 30th of October, I'm supposed to be fighting the main event on Infliction Fight Series.
Yep.
They've also got 4 15-minute intervals of airtime happening. So like Harry Bink and all those boys that ride. Yeah,
fucking Nitro Circus.
I know Bink.
Yeah. So Binky was in coming and he done two nights of training in Strike Force.
Oh, has he? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just gone. It was really cool to meet him and catch up.
Yeah.
He's super down to earth.
He's such a good-hearted dude.
Videos,
yeah.
He's funny.
I trained him for a little bit at the gym.
Okay.
When he was doing a bit of rehab stuff.
That's
yeah.
sick. Yeah.
He's such a good
Man,
dude.
hasn't he had some big hit ups, like some injuries?
Bro, he comes in like this all the time, like fucking. And you ask him to run through his injuries, and it's like, fuck, where do you start? You know the Wayne Parr photo image.
The stitches?
Yeah. If they had that for him too, he'd be like a walking corpse, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, that would look like his body. But
That's what happens when you ride bikes, mate. That's why I stick to fucking BMXs.
Yeah.
I don't even ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you talking about? You open packs of cards, bro.
Yeah.
Collect cards.
I'll stay on
G.
the safe side, bro. I'm out of that game.
So back to this
So
weekend, yeah. So
We've had a lot of drama and trouble with obviously with COVID and border control now.
we all?
Now that they're pushing the double vax stuff as well, it's made it even harder to get people into the state. So if you're not double vax now, it's not, you can't just do your quarantine. It's simply fuck off. You're not welcome in the state. So I was matched to fight Max McVicker. I want to fight now at 63.5 kilo.
Yeah. So what do you walk around at?
I'm walking around about 69.
Yeah, so that's
70,
pretty sweet
exactly.
cut. Yeah.
Like if I'm not training, I'm 70 kilo or something.
Yeah.
But training
Most of
hard,
it's
I
water
sit
too.
at 67 kilo if I'm training hard.
For 4 kg.
So I want to start fighting at 63.5. But then Max said the best he could get would be 65, and that's the top end of where I'd fight.
Yeah.
So I green lighted it, and then obviously Canberra went into lockdown and stuff, and he couldn't get up. Damon Nelson stepped in, and then we had a random case of COVID here. WA put their borders up, sort of said "fuck you" pretty much to WA and Queensland. And then we had a fella from New Zealand that was single. He had the first vax, and he just won King in the Ring in New Zealand. Rob Horrocks, I think his name is.
Yep.
And he was all for it, and then that fell through. And then there was an MMA fighter from Tasmania.
You're getting desperate now. It goes from cream of the crop.
And then there was another fella that I fought when I was 16 years old, and I also knocked him out when I was 16 years old. So that's 10 years ago now. Jordan Reed. Big props to Jordan for putting his hand up for the fight.
Yeah, for sure. Big heart.
And for staying around for the 10 years.
Yeah. He wants his revenge.
Not everyone can stick around.
That fight's been 10 years in the making.
Promoter will have a treat with that.
So we fell through them handful, and then I've also had another handful that were just talk and stuff that weight didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then I was going to do a demo, like a hard demo with one of the other boys from my gym that he was fighting the preliminary main event.
Is that Honey? James Honey?
James Honey, yep.
So his opponent pulled out as well?
Yeah, his
Borders as well?
Yeah, no borders. He
just pulled out?
No, he bitched it, to be honest, man.
Man, there is a lot about that, eh? Like, in the sport, fucking pull-outs are shit.
There's a lot of shit that's going on right now in politics with Australian Muay Thai. But I won't get too stuck into it right now.
It's like the same with most, like, you got your boxing as well, your mismatches in boxing.
Boxing is ridiculous right now. Everyone wants to protect their record and fight bums. So they've got this perfect record, because if you've got one loss, it's sort of career over. And I think MMA is the same now as well. Like it's wrong. It should be a resume
100.
of who you fought and who you beat.
Exactly. And to have a resume.
Yeah, take the numbers away and put names.
Exactly right. Because if you've got a loss there, who's that loss to?
Exactly.
That's you can't just gauge a loss because he's just lost a fight. Who was it to? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because if it's someone high end, then fucking who cares if you lost?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
We were saying a few different things that would change. I guess the big thing that I want to see incorporated in with the fighting is that, like, scores should be shown halfway through the fight and, like, after each round, right?
Up on the screen.
100%. Yeah, so you should know if you're behind, you got to haul ass, and then you won't get stitched over.
And each of the judges should be people that are ex-fighters that have been through it, have a certain amount of experience in the sport and stuff, not Joe Bloke that's done his WBC course and paid $1,500.
Is that all they do? It's similar stuff, an online course.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember going over there, and there was a judge that looked like they may not even walked 2 kilometers in their entire life. It was, how is this person judging a fight that she's literally got no fucking idea what's going on?
Exactly. And then you got fucking all 3 judges looking at each other, nod left for blue, nod right for red. Like, this shit
it
can't
be like
in
that.
the sport anymore.
Nah.
You get one bad decision for a fighter. He might be a kid at the time, and the fight goes the other way, even though he won. This kid could be the next, for whatever you want to say, Conor McGregor, Sanchez, Chad Collins.
That's exactly right, though.
And then he might walk away from the sport and never fight again, but he could have been something that changed the whole sport.
Yeah, agreed.
All because of a bad decision. It's wrong.
Yeah.
100%.
And especially the fact that the decisions are having such an impact on people's records and them taking fights and pulling out of fights. That's one way to, I guess, eradicate it.
So right now we put an offer out to find a fighter for me. anyone in Australia that can get into Queensland or anyone in Queensland
What's the
right
weight?
now.
I'm not
64.
Coming out of retirement, are you, Blakey?
No.
60, it was your weight too, Blakey.
I know what the.
You saying you want to get back in
there?
It was 64 kilo to 66 kilo, 5 grand to anyone that will stand in the ring for 5 3-minute rounds.
5'3".
But obviously had to be some
Pushing
sort
there.
of a quality
want it.
opponent.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight a bum that makes me look bad.
Yeah.
What, a 50-50
It's bad for
record
the sport.
fighter? No.
Yeah, well, Blakey, let's do it.
No. I'll stay on the side.
He's been practicing some shadow boxing and we've been pulling some
I was
lamellas.
just saying last week I wouldn't mind going back for a little comeback
Little
fight.
tune-up
but,
fight.
I'd love to see you back in the ring.
I just
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
do it, bro. I just the difference with like the effort you got to put in.
Exactly, it's my
It's-
life.
exactly,
I don't
like,
work.
yeah.
I don't turn up to be a plumber in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't sell cards or make cards for
Yeah.
a living and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
my only goal when I wake up is to turn up to training
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah.
And run and do my pad work and train, and then is to be there in the afternoon and train. That's
Yeah.
what I have. That's what my sponsors pay me to do.
Yeah.
So
You're still your sponsor. Who are your sponsors at the moment?
So there is a handful of them, but
you got Iggy.
yep. So Iggy McGowan's also.
He's an absolute fucking genius. Eh?
We'll shout him out.
Yeah, big shout out to Iggy McGowan for
Yeah.
sure for always keeping my body intact with myself through all my training camps and stuff.
Is he physio?
So he does everything, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He's actually
he's
That's
a
the guy
man
you
of
want.
many
That's the
trades,
guy you
eh?
want,
He's
man.
got mindset,
exactly.
fucking body
So this
work.
is
He's
something
got
big
everything.
that me and him worked on with my last fight
Yeah.
with Ramesh was when I was getting my massage and he was putting me back into place, he would talk to me and get my mental state where it needs to be like
Yeah.
visualizing me holding my hand, winning already.
Yeah.
There's only one person in the world that's in front of you, like right now. There's not the rest of the world, no matter what. There's
Yeah.
one, like
Yeah.
the way he
yeah.
says it, man, and he just lets me feel like I'm in control a
Yep.
bit with my own mind.
Yeah.
Let me feel how I want to feel.
Yeah.
Not nerves and stuff. It's direct that shit to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find those people, and it just clicks,
Yeah.
and it, yeah.
Couple other big shout outs also to Quest Infrastructure that was my very first sponsor.
Quest, yeah.
And they pay. He's the reason. Steve Hull from Quest is the reason that I was able to go to Thailand and live in Thailand. He sent me there, funded the whole thing.
Eesh.
So like,
Yeah, Quest has
What-
been
what
a big
do
part
Quest-
of Muay Thai.
Yep.
Haven't they?
What do Quest do?
so they do a lot, man. They cover a lot. They've got surveyors. They've got like camera crews for flushing, jetting pipes and
Yeah,
stuff.
okay,
They also
yeah.
do like non-constructive mining and all this sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
There's lots of. It's a very wide, selective shit that they cover.
Yeah,
It's hard to even explain.
Yeah,
those
no, I
lots of-
bet, I bet.
He's been a big sponsor of Muay Thai for a very long time.
Man, he's
like,
been
ever since I started, it's always this.
Well, he was the main
sponsored by
sponsor.
Quest.
Yeah, he was the main sponsor of Evolution back in the day.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And now he's the main sponsor of Rebellion.
Yep.
Yeah. he
Fuck,
works
that's a
close to
big
them.
show.
And he also all he has ever said to me, he goes like, I don't need or want anything in return except to be filled in and in the loop. I don't want to find out, oh, you fought last week or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he goes, I want you to be the best bloke you can be, the best like human being that you can be, and I
Yeah.
want to help you achieve that.
Far, that's
So-
awesome. Yeah.
And then also, I've just recently picked up Elite CBD.
Elite.
Eesh.
Yeah. So
Elite. I was telling you about Elite.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
Elite.
fucking G's.
Yep. He's
I follow his Instagram. I love it.
Yep. Ash is great, man. So he's one of my major sponsors now, and he's come on board out of nowhere since I come to Strikeforce, really. And
Yep.
he lives over in California.
Yeah.
Do you fight in Strikeforce?
Yeah, I'm from Strikeforce.
Yeah.
What? You didn't say that.
Yeah, Strikeforce life,
What?
baby.
That's hectic.
Yeah, bruh.
Fuck.
We've got a.
Sorry to cut. Yeah, sorry
What's
to
Ridley-
jump in. That's
What's Ridley's mate's name? Fuck. Oh, he's meant to be fighting this weekend. I'm
oh
pretty
yeah,
sure.
he is fighting
Dean?
this weekend.
Dean.
Dean Marshman.
Yeah, he's good, mate.
Ah.
So how's this?
I love Dino.
First time I ever went to Thailand, I was training alongside Dean.
No way.
What a small
he
world.
would have been training out of Lewis Regis gym back then.
Yes, and
Yeah.
SRG in
The
Sydney,
SRG,
because when
yeah,
I went down with Jack, little cousin Jack,
Okay.
that's where Jack used to train SRG.
All right. Well, who was the name that you just mentioned that you knew? Ridley?
Jack Ridley.
So he just bought tickets off me a couple
Yes,
of
yeah,
weeks ago.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah, he
did.
was saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's epic.
He comes in here all the time, gets some cards.
Man, Dean has changed his whole life around for this fight.
Yep.
He had his first fight 10 years ago, and he hasn't
Yeah.
fought since. And now he's like 32, and he wants to get his life back on track and,
Yeah.
and be a better person. And he's changed his whole life around. Like, big props to Dean, bro.
Yo.
Yeah, so it takes a lot to do that, eh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I jumped in on that Strikeforce, but I think you're explaining the CBD oil.
Yeah.
Oh, CBD.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
So
No,
man,
it's all-
Ash is great.
Yeah.
Like hands down to Ash. He's just your genuine down-to-earth bloke. So one of the boys, actually Peasy from the gym that owns Strikeforce, he was telling me a story about when they were over there, they were going to this business meeting, and there was these Chinese guys and other important people in their suits and everything, all like swathed up, like look $1 million, look like they're worth $1 million.
Ready to drop a mill.
And then Ash is wearing a baseball cap backwards, boardies with a pair of pluggers, and he rocks up and he's like, oh, aren't you? And Peace's like, oh, aren't you going to get like look a
Dressed
bit
up.
more formal? And he goes, mate, if they looked me up and down once, I wouldn't do business with them. They know that I do my job properly and I'm good at what I do. That's why they work with me, not because of my appearance.
Wow.
And that just, for me, says everything about the sort of bloke that Ash is, hey?
Yeah. Corey goes, you wouldn't pick him to be rich? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he looks like an average bloke, like a old surfer guy. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? He showed me a photo. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
and he's worth all this money?
He's
damn.
He's just an old burly boy. Well, not even old, he's just a burly boy that chased something that he believed in.
Yep.
And now he's doing really well for himself. He's just
he's
stocked,
doing very well.
I think in over 1,500 7-Eleven stores throughout the States, he just stocked his new energy shot CBD. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so what's his brand?
Elite
It's
CBD.
Yeah. And what do they do? Energy drinks,
everything hemp, everything. Like they've got the biggest weed factories.
You should see the farms, bro. It's absolutely hectic.
It's crazy. So they make nearly anything that has to do with cannabis.
Yeah.
They make it. Hey.
Fuck.
Like, you look at some of the stories he puts up, and he's
so
he's
have you been to the factory?
Not yet. So we're hoping maybe like March next year.
I think actually I saw Harry Bink there last year or something.
Probably. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I was like, where the hell is this?
Because there's a few boys from Strikeforce sponsored by Elite, hey?
Yeah, so pretty much because PZ's known him for over 25 years.
Yeah.
So he really supports everyone in the gym. So he helps myself, James Honey, Natalie Pavlitas, Jaden, all the other fighters as well. He helps like for the muscle rub and stuff like that. Yeah. So they're not all on financial things and stuff like product, different. Shirts, it's the whole lot. But he's always helping them with stuff, hey? He's just like...
Yeah, look at this, bro.
This is just random. This is just a story.
What?
So I don't know what he's doing.
He's just playing with the biggest buds I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was going to say, far out.
It's crazy.
That looks pristine.
I remember seeing a story of Jaden Enoch and James Honey over there. Yep. And they were walking through the fucking forest of these buds.
So that's in Australia or no? That's over in
the
States?
In Cali.
Okay,
Because they went over for an exhibition match, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they went over for a fight. I think it all fell through or something happened, and they ended up having
the exhibition against each other.
Yeah.
Fuck, what a trip!
Each other.
Go over. Yeah, they train from the same gym. Go over to America to have a fight, pull out, and then you end up just pretty much sparring your teammate.
And they ended up going to like Amsterdam. They carried on. Like, it was great.
Well, they did like a tour.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Did they fight in Amsterdam?
No.
Well, I was going to say,
What happens?
What happens in
under
Amsterdam?
The covers, that doesn't get brought up
here. Where's your favourite place to travel, bro?
For me, best country I've ever been to in my life and fought at would be Japan.
Yeah, sick.
Where'd you fight in Japan?
I fought Tokyo Dome.
Tokyo, yeah.
And then also Tokyo again the first time.
Yeah.
So I fought there twice. I fought in Tokyo Muay Thai on a show called KO Promotions.
Yep.
And they bring over a heap of good fighters from Thailand and stuff, and they treated me like such a superstar. It was crazy.
Yeah, they treat their fighters over there very well.
They're crazy about. And then second time I fought shoot boxing over there. So I had a shoot boxing.
I actually got no idea what the fuck shoot boxing is.
Isn't it
like
gloves?
Takedowns?
So it's Muay Thai, but you can do takedowns. So you still have gloves on, but if someone turns their back and you put them in a chokehold, you like hang on to them, bro, and you can choke them out, sort of thing.
What?
You can do like hip throws. Say they like throw a right hand and you like slip through and like scoop them. You can hip toss, like judo throw them. And if you judo throw them, you can't go onto the ground though. Like soon as you can't stand up. But if you judo throw someone, that's straight away a 10-8 round. It's like a knockdown. Yeah.
Okay.
So I fought a guy and we pretty much had a straight Muay Thai fight. He was ranked number 1 all through Japan. So both boys I fought there ranked number 1 in Japan, and I beat them both. But Kaito was really big name over there when I fought him, and I feel that I walked straight through him. Hey.
Really?
But the first one, Fukushi, man.
It was a hard fight.
He was like a crazy kamikaze fella, man. It was
fuck.
the hardest fight I've ever had in my life. All the Thais,
Really?
everyone I've ever fought. This guy, I dropped him at the end of the second as well, and he got back up. This guy for 5 rounds did not stop chopping my legs and not stop coming, man. Like, forever I will say Fukushi is the hardest fucking fight I've
So
ever had.
the one.
And
like,
is he known? Or
Man, he's a well-known name. Yeah.
Okay,
He
yeah.
fights on K1 a lot.
Okay.
The show K1,
Yeah.
So when like fighting someone and you're giving them your all, and you know you're not putting them down,
Yeah.
confidence wise. When I was doing that, that was just the biggest
Wait, I want
punch
to
in the
stop you right
face.
there.
Eh?
I seen you have such a war with Trent.
That was
night.
pretty much my last fight. I
Yeah,
think.
okay,
Yeah.
was it? That
Yeah.
man, that fight, I seen you get dropped and you got
I
back
got dropped
up.
3 times.
Man, exactly. You got dropped and you got back up and you fucking dished it back.
Yeah.
And then you got dropped again, man. Like that, you showed so much
Yeah,
heart
that
in
was
fight.
that was fucked. And then after that fight, he tried to buy me a drink, and I was
Yeah, he was saying that he was
underage.
like 10 years older or something.
He
Or
was,
he was a bit
like
older.
27, I was
yeah, yeah.
17 or something.
Well, that's
He
how,
could-
that's how it was when we were kids,
Yeah.
man. Like there was
There was
no,
not
we
our
ripped
age.
through
Yeah.
exactly our age group, and
Yeah.
we had to start fighting men when we were 15,
Yeah.
16 years old. And nowadays, it's like really frowned upon, and people just won't do it and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the sport's a very different sport at the moment. Like
Back
no
in the
one
day,
has,
yeah.
no one in the sport has that inner mongrel or that inner
Yeah,
cunt to
yeah.
say fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fight.
And fight, like
Yeah.
fight and fight, like until the last bell.
Yeah.
Where now everyone cares about being pretty, technique, and I
Yeah,
look like
yeah.
this, and ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. At the
fuck.
end of it, did you see that technique?
Yeah,
You
like,
see the
that
cartwheel
kick?
kick?
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
No, bro, I
style
just
points.
seen the knockout. That's what everyone goes for.
yeah, man. So
Yeah, that's crazy. So this weekend, hopefully we can find you an opponent, eh?
yeah, man, definitely. Hopefully, so right now, Lockie Odkin has actually put his hand up to jump.
Young
in the ring.
Rocky.
Lockie
That's
Ogden.
That's
feel
an
like I
old
know that
friend.
name.
It's an old friend.
Yeah, so he's someone
Like-
that grew up with us
Eh.
for years, and I've trained at 2 different gyms with him.
Yeah.
You've also trained.
Yeah,
Has he
I've
got
trained
long
with
hair
him.
by any chance?
No.
Okay.
no.
So
Different Lockie.
people nowadays know him as Rocky.
He's
Okay.
dating Jazzy Pa.
Yeah, he's
Wayne's-
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and now he's put his hand. He belongs to NTG now, and he has put his hand up to take the 5K and stand in front of me, and this would be such a big draw card for a fight. So all props to Lockie, and
Hell yeah.
thank you very much for offering to take the fight.
Yep.
There's a bit of a weight difference, so I'm still waiting to hear back from.
Are you bigger?
I am bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a bit. Like I said, I like the fight between 63.5 to 65 kilo.
Yeah.
Where Lockie is about a 62 kilo fighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he also walks around at like say 66, 67.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we could agree on a weight,
Yeah.
but he's also like one of my best mates.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I remember back in the day, we always used to hang out.
Exactly.
So how do you go about fighting your mates? Like, because the
So you
Thai world's
just punch him in the face and shake hands
That's
after.
Yeah,
That's
you
how
just
it
go
is.
in.
It's as long there's all the respect in the world before. In the ring, fuck you, I want to rip your head apart,
Yeah.
elbow you, cut you to bits.
Yeah.
And as soon as that 5th bell goes, mate, I'm so sorry. I love you. Let's go have a beer. Let's
Yeah.
go hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess when you're G'd up and when you're in that moment, like, is it as fast as like? Because like I had one amateur boxing fight and that just went like the rounds were so fast. I don't know if it's the first one, but
No, I
Blakeys
don't-
mentioned it was quite similar as well. Like it just happened. Like you're in amongst it.
You just
Yeah.
don't remember it. I don't
Yeah.
remember it.
if
Like-
you get to a certain amount of fights, so after about 15 fights for me,
Yeah.
I started to find my own style and
Yeah.
technique and be a bit more cleaner.
Yeah.
And then I started fighting 3-minute rounds. So when you turn professional, you start fighting 3-minute rounds and you get 2-minute breaks.
Okay.
So there's a big difference going.
Whereas what's
from,
amateur?
Amateur is like sometimes
2.
now they have 1.5 minutes for little girls and
Yeah.
kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Saying that. That's
with
a
1 minute
sprint
break.
run, eh?
Oh, I don't agree with it, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I think
Yeah.
in 2 minutes, 2
Yeah.
minutes minimum.
Minimum. Yeah.
Exactly. So amateur is 2 minutes with 1 minute break.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the break's still quick. It's like professional boxing. You only
Yeah.
get 1 minute break.
Yeah.
So 3 minutes with 2-minute breaks is definitely a long time.
Yeah.
It makes the fight go, I think, around half an hour, 30 minutes.
Okay.
close to,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a long time too when you're standing in there and you know throwing punches, taking punches for
Well,
30 minutes.
For me, I love it because it gives me more time
to go.
read.
to break the other
Yeah,
person
Yeah.
down.
That was going to ask me. The next question is like, are you breaking the opponent down mid-fight? Obviously, you've done all your research prior to the fight, and I know you're breaking the fight down. But like, how does that? Yeah, like, is it instant, like, are you trying to look for, what are you looking for, I guess? Like,
So for me, it's like I'm looking for any. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always looking for any chink in the armor. Hey, if someone blinks funny after I hit him, like, bro, I've got you.
Yeah.
You gotta watch
Okay.
some of his fights.
Oh, man, I want to now after
It's
hearing
like
and seeing this
scary
stuff.
because the pressure you put on is like, fuck
It's-
that. Because if that was in front, like you're not just punching. There's an inside kick and then there's punches, then there's a knee coming. It's like
Things-
And there's elbows
it's fucking
flying.
it's up and down, and it's like how could someone stand in front of that?
That's it. That's all it is I'll put that pressure
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
until you decide, yo, I can't
It's
do
breaking,
this.
yeah.
Like my confidence is done. As soon as I
Yeah.
see someone's confidence break, it's game
Yeah.
over for them. Like
And how many fights have you had in professional?
professional, I'd say maybe
Yeah, dig
like,
deep here.
Oh.
Fucking a long fair few.
I'd say I'd had like 45 professional. But in Australia, you don't really, you just say how many fights you've had. So I've
Yeah.
had 65 fights all up.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I've only ever had 2 shin padded fights. Once when I was a kid, my
Yeah.
very first fight, and then once when I fought in IFMA over in Malaysia.
Yeah, the old IFMA.
Yeah.
They make you wear them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
have,
have to, yeah.
pads and all the whole lot, elbow pads, headgear, the whole lot.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking
yeah.
it's full on. You can't even breathe in that shit.
I know,
too.
right?
It's
Especially C
worse.
class, you got chest pads and
Fuck.
stuff.
And
And
then-
like
yeah.
we were getting told to train in it. Richie's
Yeah.
like telling us to train in these pads.
So
I'm like,
Chest pads.
yeah,
Like
you can't
the
even
full
bend over.
fucking-
You're like, what the?
They
fuck
look like a
is this
judo
about?
fucking, what's the sword fighting thing?
Yeah,
fully,
on guard.
Yeah.
Fencing.
You can't
Fencing,
get hurt.
yeah.
You can't get hurt. But mind you, actually, I got knocked out with those pads.
Don't worry, so did Corey,
Yeah.
man. 2 o'clock in the morning.
So, bro, Corey, how? he
What,
went
did you put
over
him
it.
on it after a night out? And
No,
then
no, I put him on. This cunt kneed me in the gut, folded me, and then elbowed me in the side of the head, and just I
Missed
was
the-
out
missed
cold.
it.
Eh?
Okay.
And then I woke up and doctors are in the ring shoving shit in my nose. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go again. Like,
Yeah.
I beat
I'm
the count,
good.
but everyone's in the ring. I'm like, oh,
too late.
it's over.
It's off.
Richie's like, mate, just
Just stay there.
sit down, mate.
He
It's
didn't
all right."
work.
Yeah, fuck this headgear.
Isn't Richie living a good life right now?
He's traveling. He's
Beautiful.
doing well. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's set himself up. He's got the Tweed gym
Yep.
and the Gold Coast gym, and fuck,
He's
it's
done really,
really
well
paying
setting
off for him
himself
now.
up. Yep.
Because he was talking about that for a long time.
Well, I think he also, this is just my personal opinion, I think he sort of got the shits with bad decisions and all the political shit that comes with
There was a
Muay Thai.
lot
Yeah.
of political
Because
shit
he
going
used to be on the WMC board
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, like, and I think now he's stepped back from all that, and he's just like, look, I've got 2 gyms and I've set them up so I can travel and look after my own family
Yeah,
and provide a bit of a thing for kids to grow and work from. But he obviously
Yeah.
wants to look after number one, him and himself and his
exactly.
family.
Yeah, of course. And like, back in the day, like he has gone through some shit
Oh, man,
decisions.
He's
like,
been around it a long time.
yeah, and like for example, I fought Sam Burt. The first time we
Yep.
fought Sam Burt, we fought on Sunny Coast on his show, and his dad was a judge. So like I thought I won the fight quite
Hands
convincingly.
down, yep.
And Richie thought so as well. So did Richard Fogarty.
Okay.
I walk over and Richard Fogarty goes, yeah, congratulations, nice win, mate. Like, good fight.
Yep.
Go through, it's split decision. He gets it. I look over straight to Richard Fogarty, just like blown
Blown
away.
away.
He's like, shit, like shake his head. They agreed straight away to a rematch on Urban Warfare, and fuck, I felt like I just ran through him, eh?
Yeah.
Felt I nearly broke his arm or some shit with
Yeah,
kicks,
okay.
and fuck, I felt on that fight.
Yeah. How is it when
No,
you're on?
yeah,
on.
you feel it. You're like, fuck
Yeah.
yeah. It starts to come like a rhythm.
Yeah.
So, how do you deal with, like, I guess the tough losses where you know that you've won, like, because it seems like there's quite a few in the
It's
Thai
fucked
boxing.
for your confidence,
Man,
man.
Yeah.
I've had so
You just feel like you
many-
spend
Yeah,
everything,
you've
and you
had
go
a
in there, you
shit
get
ton.
bashed, or you give out a bashing, or whatever. You're
Exactly.
just like, why am I doing this?
I've
Like,
had so many fights where I've won. So like I fought for 2 WBC world titles at Lumpini Stadium,
fuck.
and I believe that I've won both, if
Yeah.
not definitely one of them. Definitely the 70 kilo one. I took it on 10 days notice,
Fuck.
and I fought Satan Fa from
At what, 70 kilos?
70
so that's
kilos.
way heavier than you're used
yeah.
to fighting.
I got the phone call 10 days.
Shit.
Can you fight? And I was like, yep.
Fuck
no
yeah, I'll be
worries.
eating curries
Yeah.
to the fight day. Let's go.
So, and I fought in 5 rounds at Lumpini, and I believe I won the fight, and they give it to the other fella
Yeah.
just due to gambling stuff.
And that's
Yeah,
a
gambling's huge, and that affects fights in Thailand
Yep.
massively.
Yep.
Because some
the gambling.
gamblers got some big dollars riding on,
Yeah.
and a lot of the time they bet on the Thais too.
Right, how's this? So I fought, just quickly actually, I'll say this. I fought at Raja, and I'm fighting the current Rajadanam Stadium champion. And this is the second time I've fought him, all right? So the first time I fought him, I knocked him out in the third round with an elbow. And then this time I'm fighting him, we're sitting like at the chairs that you sit
He's
at.
a lanky-ish guy, hey?
Tall guy,
I
yep.
remember watching that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and he's from the promoter of that's promoting at Raja. He's from his gym, Sausamai.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm sitting there, and Sausamai goes, "Oh, if you knock him out again, yeah, right," like as a joke, like as we're waiting to walk out, sitting on the chairs, and
the chair of
and he
fucking-
goes, "Oh, if you win this fight," the Sausamai says this to me, "If you win this fight, your next fight would be for the Raja belt." And I'm like, boom, green lights, like this is my fight.
Yeah, I've got this.
I ended up knocking him out in the third round again for the second time, and he was the current 147-pound champion.
You got him once with an elbow, eh?
First time was an elbow.
Yeah.
Second time I put him down with an elbow, and then I finished him with a big uppercut.
Yeah. I remember
True
the
fashion
fucking
of the
looping,
uppercut.
uppercut.
And then after the fight, I go up to Sausamai, the promoter, and say like, "Thank you very much," and wire to him and like bend down to his chest, and he goes, "Ugh," grunts and like sort of does like a fuck off sort of hand signal with me. And at the same time, he was handing like the biggest chunk of cash ever over to the gamblers. It would have been like easily 15 grand Aussie. So like 250,000 baht, 250,000 baht.
Yeah.
And he's like handed it up and just like give me this evil eye and walked off. And I was like thinking to myself, I started crying. I got all upset thinking I'm not getting the title shot now. And of course it never came. Like it's just the politics for, I know that's all I want. I didn't
It's to
care.
get in your head before the fight.
I don't care really personally, I don't care for Lumpini at all. I love and everything in the world to me is Raja.
Yeah.
It's
Raja, yeah.
Raja Stadium is everything. You get rubbed down, bro, on the tables and they're just dirty as anything.
It's Thai feel, hey?
Of just all these famous Thais that have previously been rubbed down on them and stuff. Like,
what an
amazing.
experience, hey? Like I just used to watch fights on YouTube at Raja and Lumpini and just
the checkered lights. Up the top
you're just
and stuff.
thinking, fuck, just imagine that atmosphere to walk out to that.
That's where they
just
had
to sit in that
50,000?
chair.
Nah, not this stadium. Nah.
Well, how many would you get into Raja?
Raja, you probably get like, I don't know.
You wouldn't get
maybe
that.
like 3
Yeah.
or
Oh, okay.
Two or
Yeah,
three
yeah, it's a lot
too many.
smaller. Yeah.
It's
get,
more
like,
of like a high end.
Ties. They
Oh.
jam in there though.
Yeah, you think you can get 2 or 3, but the Thais can get about 4,000.
It's really 4 to 5.
Yeah. I guess before we wrap it up, bro, what's sort of the next chapter for you? Obviously, you know, this weekend there's the potential fight. Post that, obviously you're a Strike Force at the moment and things like that. Are you gunning for the title or what's?
Yeah, man, I want to have a few more fights.
Yep.
A bit red because I've only fought once now since COVID and everything.
Okay.
Because there was 2 years where I didn't fight because of COVID.
Yeah.
So now I've only had the one fight back. I want to have another, 2 or 3, maybe 4, and then start chasing belts again.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Just so I'm back to my A.
Yeah, get a
game.
few more reps under your belt.
Who's the current holder for the WMC?
WMC.
MC, yeah.
At which way?
Yours.
So I also fought Bobo Sacco in Paris for that.
Oh,
For the WMC
right.
at 66.7. So again, he come down just really big, like he towered over me, man.
Yeah, I
and
remember
that's
your
the one
Paris trip.
fight. That's the one fight that I've had in the last few years that I believe I lost fair and square. Hey? Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
my
crazy.
phone just went off then. I thought
Yeah,
it was like, you're on, your fight's on.
His eyes
you're
light
waiting,
up.
You're waiting. You got 12:30, eh?
Yep. No, 12 o'clock. If
12
I haven't
o'clock.
heard from 12 o'clock, I'm pulling. Because it's.
Hey, you can't.
I'm 4 days until I fight.
What day? We're on what? Fucking
Monday,
Tuesday now. You're meant to be fighting Saturday.
Yeah.
I got to cut weight.
You're in the
Like,
unknown.
I got to start cutting weight in 2 days and stuff like that. Like I've had that many opponents recently in the last few days. Like I've had 3 since yesterday.
Fuck.
Like so, it's mentally fucking me, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, I've handled this since Thursday. All of these opponents, man. Last Thursday it happened, and now I'm at wit's end. Like.
Yeah. You gotta know when to pull
Well,
the
exactly.
pull the pin.
You're a main event on the card.
Exactly.
Like you're the fight
Prize
that
fight.
everyone's
The draw
coming to
card,
watch.
exactly.
So pick the fucking game up, boys.
Yeah,
Find
yeah.
him a
Straight
fucking-
up.
Find
Find
your
him an
nuts.
opponent.
I'm the Mike Tyson
Yeah,
card.
That's,
fully.
yeah. We'd have to get you a personal card made up, I reckon. I guess just on Thai as well, I want to know your favourite Thai food.
So I'm.
What are you going to be able to say? Those fucking toasties from the 7-Eleven?
Yes! Cheese toasties, maybe the occasional pizza sub one.
The pizza. Yeah, that was my favourite.
I'm a pretty basic person. I would have to say gayang with sticky rice. So khao niao gayang, which is like fried chicken, or like let me start again. Is like barbecued chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
With
And
like
just some
sticky rice
Yeah.
and like somtam and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a little bit Isan sort of food, they call it.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I would say I'm pretty basic, and I would go ganki or wan, which is green curry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
I
yeah.
like to eat that with fried rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Fucking, I'd say
What's
the
yours?
same thing, man.
Yeah.
A Penang curry.
Penang.
Penang or Mazaman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
good.
it. I like a
fucking
I like a red curry, and I like some spring rolls as well. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
Thai, but
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Springers,
Oh,
we'll
wait.
put them on there.
I've just found the best like dim sims, steamed dim sims they do at Lucky Buddha in Mermaid. Hey, it's so
Lucky
good,
Lucky
Buddha.
Buddha.
mate.
Are they
Shout out Lucky
gluten-free?
Buddha.
Gluten-free?
Rate this place, hey.
Hey, I'm Celia. I'm gluten free.
Oh, are you now?
This guy, yeah.
always.
Oh no, well I got
Always.
diagnosed like 2 years ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, celiac.
Proper,
Fucking, like,
yeah.
I was puking up every day.
We had to make a
Yeah,
gluten-free
yeah.
beer.
Yeah,
for him.
we just brought out
Just so he could
gluten-free
drink.
beer line,
What is
so-
it? What do you call it?
Blakeys brew.
Blakey's Brew.
Yeah,
Blakey
yeah.
brew.
Shout
Smoking.
out.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
smoking a big fucking cigar. And
Yeah. We'll have to give you one on the way. Oh, you're in fight mode. Fuck.
Fight week. No,
Give you
no
one for
beers.
Saturday.
We'll do
Bring
a
one for
we'll have a
Saturday.
follow-up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll bring a shoe and a beer for the fight.
Done.
Oh, we'll wrap it up.
Wrap it
That was
up
a good
there.
one.
No, absolute legend, bro. Thank you once again for coming on the potty. Is there anything else that you want to ask us or? anything?
Just something that I would like to say.
Yeah.
Anyone in Australia, while COVID's all happening, anyone in Australia that between 63.5 and 65 kilo that wants to step up and fight me,
Yeah.
green lights, let's line them up. I'm here to make a statement to say
Handy.
that I am the best fighter in the world, not just Australia.
And I'll fucking back it too. I believe.
Yeah.
I believe.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. And I guess we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for listening. Thank you again, Chad, for jumping on. And we'll just do a one big let it rip before we go.
Ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Let it rip, son. That was a good one.
Sweet.
Cheers, bro.
Easy
Appreciate
just
it.
message right there, no?
What'd he say? You
I
got
don't know.
one?
I'm about to read it.
Oh shit.
This podcast was brought to you by Rip and Collect. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to listen to more episodes, please subscribe to our channels at the Coach Carter Podcast. You can also keep up to date with all of our box breaks, sports and culture at ripandcollect.com. Let it rip.